Welcome everyone. Thanks for attending this webinar about the industry engagement. And I think I'll just go to the first slide. This is more or less the outline of my presentation. So I'll be giving a little bit of an introduction for ELIXIR, and then I'll be talking about how we try to foster innovation from ELIXIR. I'll be talking about the impact that ELIXIR resources and ELIXIR partners are having in the industry, and I'll give some final remarks at the end. Things like open projects for collaborations and contact details and stuff. So I'll start by the introduction. So I kind of know that many attendees are extremely familiar with ELIXIR. So my apologies about this next 5 or 6 slides. You're going to be pretty familiar with that, but I think it's worth just touching base about what ELIXIR is. So as many of you know, ELIXIR tries to connect national bioinformatics institutes in Europe and also MLEBI into an infrastructure to coordinate better and to make better use of the bioinformatics resources that we have now. We try to underpin all life science research. So despite obviously medicine and human data has a big focus on ELIXIR, we try to cover all areas like agriculture, environment, and this presentation is going to be about what we do with bioindustries, what can we help each other. Because in the end, ELIXIR is about community. So we try to foster communities, and my role is to try to be in the interface in between the private sector, the industrial community, and the academic community in ELIXIR. So as you all know, we have to face several data challenges in Europe, and these data challenges start from the huge amount of sites where data is produced in Europe. So as you can see in the map on the right-hand side, omics producing centers, and those their numbers are either sequencers or mass spectrometers, and so everywhere where the sequencer is working, a massive amount of data are produced. So this actually stresses the idea that we need some coordination, and that's what ELIXIR is trying to do, is try to respond to this challenge by increasing and improving coordination across Europe. Then we have data growth. So we have many sites producing data, and this data production is growing exponentially. So you can see there the total disk storage at MLEBI is now reaching, the graph stops in 2015. Now we are close to 120 petabytes. And we also have to face some challenges securing access and governance of human data, because we have more and more human data being produced, more patients being sequenced. So there is a need for coordination, and there is a need for infrastructure in order to better manage that in Europe. And then we have the funders, and the funders are very strict nowadays with open data. They're very committed, and open data mandates. There are open data mandates in national and European funders, things like the European Research Council, the European Commission, IMI in the European space, or even in the UK, BBSFC, Wellcome Trust. So that's why we need an infrastructure. We need some coordination, because we have to face these data challenges. That's why ELIXIR exists. And basically now we have several member states. So basically we have 20 countries and member states plus MLEBI, and then we have Greece as an observer in ELIXIR. And we basically cover all main European institutes and European initiatives in bioinformatics. And in numbers, we basically have around 180 institutes involved in the infrastructure, 600 plus staff involved in one way or another. And we have 11 implementation studies currently in operation. And these implementation studies are small pilot studies connecting different resources in different countries across Europe. So we have a small technical budget to do this kind of pilot implementation studies in ELIXIR. And we have 10 papers in the ELIXIR F1000 research channel that I actually invite you to go and have a look. So we have methodological papers, some other more research-focused papers. So please go to the ELIXIR channel in the F1000 and have a look. They're all free to download. We have 223 live events in TESS. TESS is the training and events portal in ELIXIR, and I'll come back to TESS later in the presentation. So I'm not going to spend a lot of time now in TESS. And we have 200 plus companies who attended the Innovation and SME program. which is one way we have to interact with industry in ELIXIR, and I'll come back to this program later in my presentation too. How are we organized? So we're a distributed pan-European infrastructure. So basically we use a hub, which is the central headquarters, and nodes, which are the member states' national bioinformatics institutes, if they exist, and we try to connect all of them. Connect them with the hub, connect them within themselves, and every node has a particular expertise in some theme, either is tools, training, data resources. So I just put on the right-hand side the Spanish Institute of Bioinformatics. And you can always go to the ELIXIR website and explore a little bit the ELIXIR nodes. So if you're interested in the node, your local node, your country, what is doing, who is involved, please go to the website, and who we are, you will find easily the nodes and the structure. We also list the ELIXIR services in our website, and these services are provided by the ELIXIR nodes. And I just have to make a clarification here. It's also in the screen grab. This page does not contain all ELIXIR services. It only shows the services which are in the service delivery plan, and as service delivery plans are approved, this page will be more and more populated, because this is an administrative process that takes some time and needs some approvals, high-level approvals. So this services page does not represent the whole picture. It just represents the ones that have gone through the administrative approval, basically. But again, I invite you to click on the link, and the presentation will be available afterwards. So just please click on every link available and explore our website. Technically, we are organized in different platforms, which are tools, compute, training, interoperability, and data. And these are the platforms basically driving all the technical work here in ELIXIR. And then sort of on top of those platforms, we have use cases, which are particular life science domains, where we use the work of those platforms to try to implement new projects. And these use cases are marine metagenomics, rare diseases, human data, and plant science. And I'm going to be having a few words about human data, which is a pretty popular use case within the industrial community. That'll be my next three or four slides. So human genomics and translational data, that's the full name of the use case, is trying to unleash the possibilities for genomics and health by understanding disease, helping to develop and test novel pharmacological hypotheses, and helping also in patient stratification and patient management. It has a vision and a mission, which is all about facilitate discovery of human genomics data and provide the right infrastructure to be able to do science at scale. So basically, it tries to construct and operate a sustainable infrastructure. And our head of human genomics used this phrase, and I like it. The kind of mixed vision and mission of the human genomics use case is that every data that can be shared will be shared. Every human data that can be shared will be shared, and that's pretty appropriate for this particular use case. The backbone of this use case is the European Genome Phenome Archive, where human genomic and phenomics data is stored. It's a large archive. It's run jointly by EBI in Kingston and by CRG in Barcelona. And it is based on people submitting data. So we have data submitters, more than 600 universities, research institutes, and then we have data requesters, basically from all over the world. And your request has to be approved by a data access committee that basically evaluates your proposal. And again, I invite you to click on the link and explore a little bit more about the EGA. It has quite a fair amount of really interesting data sets in different diseases and different populations. So please go and it's a pretty simple process. It takes a little bit of time to get approval by the data access committee, but it can really help you out in discovering really interesting human genomics data. Industry uses a lot EGA, and this slide is coming from Jordi Rambla, who is the manager for EGA in Barcelona. And they basically counted the number of accounts, industrial accounts. And you can see in the slide that big companies like Lilly or Stellas in Japan or BGI, the Pfizer or Merck, there are active users of EGA. They are requesting data for their internal research processes. So if you are coming from a company, it doesn't matter whether it's small or big. It's just to make sure that you can, and please go and talk to the people at EGA, and EGA is open for everyone. So please go, open an account and start from there. So the next section of my presentation is about what do we do in ELIXIR to foster innovation. And I am just going to start by giving a brief overview of the committee that drives the industry strategy and drives our efforts on ELIXIR, which is called the Industry Advisory Committee, and it's a high-level consultant committee. The committee meets once a year, face-to-face, and we have one teleconference, and then we have a pretty healthy email communication, and we see and pretty healthy relationships in external and internal events. The committee is basically made by individuals coming from companies, from big companies, from small and medium enterprises, even from SME associations, publishing houses, service providers like Amazon Web Services. So it kind of represents a little bit. We try for the Industry Advisory Committee to represent a whole wide industrial community interested in life sciences, not only pharma companies, but the rest of the companies, or even marine agricultural companies. So we try to cover life science and different business models. They do produce a public report every year. All the reports are available in the link in the slide. I encourage you to go and read, because that's a very nice vision of what the industry thinks about ELIXIR and what the industry thinks ELIXIR should be doing and where we should be going. So those are very interesting reports, and it's not only interesting, we try to follow them, and we implement the recommendations of the Industry Advisory Committee, and we provide an update the next year. So we have a pretty close relationship with the Industry Advisory Committee, which, by the way, has open positions now. So I encourage you, again, to have a look at the website. That's a screen grab from the website. The application process is very simple. It's just a CV, and all the CVs, they get evaluated by our board in autumn. So we will be announcing the new members of the Industry Advisory Committee by the end of the year. Just to clarify here, members of the Industry Advisory Committee are selected based on personal capacity. So people with a nice view on the bioinformatics are very welcome. It doesn't really matter much the company. So please circulate this within your colleagues, and will contact me, and then I'll circulate this to the ELIXIR board. So as I mentioned, this is the main document for the innovation and industry in ELIXIR. This is the industry strategy that drives our efforts in ELIXIR. It has 5 points. I'm just not going to mention all, because I have a few slides explaining afterwards what do we do in each point. But again, I invite you to go to the industry section in ELIXIR, and it's on the left-hand side of the screen. Is the industry strategy. It's a nice PDF. Have a look. If you have any comment about the industry strategy, you think that we should be including something else, just please let me know. My email and Twitter and LinkedIn will be available afterwards. The first point of the industry strategy is to increase industry usage of ELIXIR resources and ensure ELIXIR name and the ELIXIR the resources name is synonymous with quality. So this is a piece of work that we do very closely with the data platform and with the core data resources that they are developing as we speak. We ensure that the views of an industry are taken into account. Basically, these views are the views from the Industry Advisory Committee, as just said. And we try to build a picture of the scale and value to industry of public bioinformatics services. I'll come back to this particular point later in my presentation in the kind of impact section of the presentation, because I just want to give a few words about how are we building this picture currently. This point number 2 is actually very important for us, because in here, so the title is Support Europe's SMEs and Facilitate ELIXIR nodes in engaging local users. And for this, we have this program. It's called the ELIXIR Innovation and SME Forum. And these are a series of events, basically, in our member states, in our nodes. So we try to organize these workshops all across Europe. And basically, we try to bring together experts from industry and experts from ELIXIR, and to encourage communication. So we present our resources, they present their needs, and I'll give you a few words in the next slides about the outcomes of those events. So far, we've been organizing events in all these countries in Europe, in Barcelona, in Switzerland, in Wageningen in the Netherlands. You can see those in the map. It's important to mention that these events are kind of thematic and they align with our use cases or with our platforms. You can, if you go to our industry website, you can browse to these events. You can see the past presentations. Everything is open and available for the public to download. So if you are interested in marine metagenomics, I encourage you to go to the Oslo one, which was thematic on marine sciences. The beginning one was in the Netherlands was thematic on agriculture, so on and so forth. So please go and explore our website. We have few upcoming events, two in 2017 and one in 2018. The very next one, and I'll have a slide just afterwards, is an SME event in Belgium, where we be talking about microbiome and nutrition and food. It's in collaboration with the Flanders government. The next one in the year is going to happen in France, in Paris, 14 and 15 of November. It's going to be about rare diseases and personalized medicine and genomics. And the next one is going to happen in Cambridge on the 25th of January, and it's going to be about discoverability of data, tools, and training. And here we collaborate with One Nucleus, which is the SME association in the Cambridge area. A few words in the very next one, and please go to the ELIXIR website, go to the events, and then you will see this the particular web page for this event, where we have the more detailed program and the registration. In case you want to register, these events are all for free for academics and for industry. So please go ahead and register yourselves. The title is Data-Driven Innovation in Food, Nutrition, and Microbiome. And we will be showcasing data resources, tools available in the public domain, and we want to be discussing about integration. It is going to be a very interesting event because it's going to be very, very interactive. It's going to be a sort of a series of debates. So we hope it's really interesting for the industrial community. So far it's been very interesting to organize. And we have some confirmed speakers from the Commission, from Memble, and also from Unilever. So again, registration is open, so please go have a look at the program. We have a more detailed program in the website, and register yourselves for this next event in Brussels. I was just mentioning it beforehand. Now we're trying to map out the outcomes of these events, because when we bring together experts from the industrial community and experts from the ELIXIR community, things happen, and we're trying to map out these. So we know that, for example, in Finland, MediSapiens is a small SME, and is starting now a collaboration with our node in Finland, which is the CSC, the Center for Science and Compute in Helsinki. And they are now coming up with a framework to collaborate. So actually, MediSapiens can use the supercomputing center in the CSC to try some of the innovative products. In Spain, in the Barcelona event, which was very popular, we had several interactions. One was coming from Viva, which is interacting with the Barcelona Supercomputing Center, who belongs to the Institute for National Bioinformatics in Spain. So that's a very nice collaboration that was fostered within the event. So I was very proud to promote these collaborations. And also there's a kind of slightly different type of collaboration where an SME called Annealing, working in metagenomics, is now working with the European Genome Archive, exchanging information and exchanging pipelines, and they're sharing information. So the European Genome Archive knows what is happening in the disaster community. And that was also fostered during our Barcelona SME event. So this is a kind of success stories that happen in the event. So if you are interested in knowing what is happening in ELIXIR and in meeting academic researchers and people running the services, please come to the events. Again, these events are for free, open for everyone. And you can see here in the next slide that it's usually, so I'm just going to focus on the orange bar, is we usually get 50% from private sector and 50% from academia and legal partners. And I think that's a major asset of these events. It's like they are pretty populated with people from the industrial community, and some really nice and interesting conversations and some presentations and some debates happen in this event. So, and we try to maintain this throughout all of our events. which, as you can imagine, takes some effort from the organizing committees to advertise properly the event and to knock on doors, especially for small and medium enterprises. So we are particularly happy with this outcome of 50% of industrial community. The point number three of our industry strategy is to build effective partnerships with key industry stakeholders. And I'll give you just two examples of these. One is the discussions around long-term storage of IMI data, and this is an IMI project called OncoTrack, where they're actually exploring whether they can use the European Genome Archive to store data from the project, whether that is financially sustainable, how much it's going to be. So that's one nice collaboration we have with IMI, which is the Innovative Medicines Initiative. And in case you don't know, this is a public-private partnership in Europe where FPI companies, which is large pharma companies, they come together with the European Commission and they fund projects. And this is basically 50% is coming from the Commission and 50% is coming from the companies, kind of in-kind contribution from the companies. We try also to work very closely with industry clusters, either European or regional. In the European space, we work with Europa Bio and CIBER, the Council of European Bioregions. And regionally, we work very closely with the local clusters where we organize events, because this is a very nice way to reach to as many companies as possible. And it's a very nice way to reach to the local industrial community there, because these clusters are usually very active, hosting companies, organizing other events, and they know the environment locally. So far, we've been interacting with BioCat in Barcelona. We are now currently interacting with Flanders Bio for the Brussels event, and we'll be doing this with BioM and One Nucleus in future events. So this is our these are main industry stakeholders. This is our kind of portfolio of collaborations. And the point number 4 is that we ensure effective communication. So we ensure that the communication is effective and it's going in both ways. So it's not just us communicating for companies, it's also we going to industry organized events and listening to the industrial community. So we have a tool to reach to companies, and that's the mailing list. And we have an industry newsletter. Please go to ELIXIR website and sign for the industry newsletter. There will be a link in this slide to subscribe to the industry newsletter. We have now around 400 people subscribed to this, and we provide updates about events, this SME program that we have, and we provide updates about ELIXIR resources, projects, opportunities for collaborations, open posts within ELIXIR, and we try to send 3 to 4 a year, so it's not very spammy communication. So actually, if you have some content that you think it might be interesting for the whole industrial community, let me know and send me the link. We're also making a network of industry experts across ELIXIR. That's very important. We're going to be having our first face-to-face meeting in the next ECCB in Prague Congress, ECCB Congress in Prague, sorry. And this is industry liaisons across the ELIXIR nodes. So these are people interacting with company, interested on interacting with company more, helping or already involved in organizing events. So we are now formalizing this network of industry experts. So when a company reaches someone centrally, we can always derive that company to the appropriate local expert. So that's the way we operate. And finally, it's all about training. And we, in the industry strategy, we also support the bioinformatics training of industry. We try to understand industry training needs, and we perform a gap analysis, and we have some ideas. We try to enhance visibility of ELIXIR training courses and tests within industry. And we try to run ELIXIR training courses just for industry community. And the last point is this ELIXIR training quality stamp. And that's something that, with my experience interacting with industry, is what industry wants from us sometimes. It's just a stamp of quality. So we're trying to do that also in training. Coming to training, I'll give a few words about tests. I want just to highlight that this is the ELIXIR training portal, where you can discover and browse events, materials, packages, workflows, providers. And it's not only training events, it's all sorts of events, because, well, and workshops. So for example, our SME events is not exclusively training, but you are going to find those events here in the test portal. Please go browse all the contents. You can actually even make your own workflow. It's a very interesting tool that the test portal has. So if you are interested in getting more training about RNA-seq, you can select different courses and different providers, and you can just follow your own workflow to get more training in RNA-seq or ChIP-seq or whole genome sequencing. And now we're focusing also on demonstrating the impact of this infrastructure and the impact of our nodes and in society. So we have this very nice infographic, and this is based on a paper which is available in the F1000 channel about usage of public resources in patents. So I'll just give a few notes. More than 20,000 academic papers cite bioinformatics resources and databases, but more importantly, in the context of this particular talk, 8,400 patents were citing bioinformatics databases like Campbell or PDB. So this demonstrates the impact that the public data resources have in the industry community. And there's the proportion of patents using bioinformatics databases on the right-hand side. During the period of 2010-2015, 30,000 or almost 31,000 patents used bioinformatics repositories to identify genes, enzymes, or single nucleotide polymorphism in all sorts of business models, from vaccines to pharmaceuticals, beauty care, or industrial enzymes. So again, these public data resources are extremely important for all types of companies to kind of develop their work on a day-to-day basis. But we want to go a little bit beyond that, and we want to identify other types of impact. So and we try to identify not only the users, because that's obviously extremely difficult to identify all users, all industrial community, all industrial users in the public data resources, but we try to identify small and medium enterprises which are actually having the public data resources as business model, they rely on these public data resources to own their business models. And the relationship they have with the public data resources is about customization, when they take one or two resources and they kind of repackage them and they sell them back again. Or sometimes they aggregate information from these resources with the client information or their own information, and they aggregate all together in a product. Or sometimes they even are just brokering, kind of facilitating discovery or facilitating the finding of human genomic data, for example. And we're currently working with these companies, Eagle Genomics, OntoForce, Repositive, Intelligent Pharma, and General Bioinformatics. They are all either selling software or selling consultative services, customizing, aggregating. So we'll keep you posted about this paper. We aim to start sharing it with partners soon, and we aim to publish it by the end of the year. So I'll encourage you to keep tuned and bear with us, and we'll publish this report very soon. By the way, if you have any company that you know in your country that is really relying heavily on public resources, please let me know, and I'll be happy to discuss that further, because we're trying to capture this whole ecosystem. It's just not trying to showcase 6 companies, but to make this impact a story. So funders and the society can see the benefit of these public resources, not only being used by academic community, but also being a fundamental part of business models. And I'll just give my final remarks. It's basically, I just want to invite you to explore these registries that we have in ELIXIR. So BioTools is the registry for tools. And go and have a look, interact, search for tools that are interesting in your research. And fair sharing is a kind of repository for standards across all disciplines. And it points to policies, like the policies that the journals have. So please take a minute and explore fairsharing.org, because that's also an ELIXIR resource. We have a flagship project, which is a kind of inter-platform, so basically links interoperability platform with tools too, and with the data platform. That's a bioschemas project. And basically, bioschemas is a community effort to encourage people to use bioschemas in their websites. So the content, once you find that information, is very rich. So for example, when you search apple pie in Google, you have lots of information like the calories, the time that it's going to take to cook that pie, links to Wikipedia, different kinds of pies. We're trying to encourage people developing website and players like Google to adopt these bioschemas, so we can do mostly the same with biodata, like for example myosin, the protein. So it will be great to have more information, more rich content when you type myosin in Google. You see, it's direct into RPI. So now we're working to have encourage and to be able to fetch data from PDB or UniProt and have the molecular weight, the different structures. So basically enrich a lot the process of searching for biological information. So that's what bioschemas encourages. And again, this is a community effort, open for everyone to join. We organize workshops. So contact me and I'll probably redirect your email to Rafa Jimenez, which is our CTO here in ELIXIR and is the face of Bioschemas project. So again, please go and have a look at the Bioschemas website if you are interested and you are developing websites. And in the last slides, I would like to showcase a little bit what is happening in the nodes, because in the end, from the ELIXIR Hub and the ELIXIR headquarters, we work for the nodes, and sometimes the nodes, they have their own industry programs, and nodes like the EBI, the European Bioinformatics Institute, has a very powerful industry program. It's lots of really large pharma companies and also agri-food and consumer goods companies. And this is an industry program. They meet quarterly and they receive information firsthand from the experts from the European Bioinformatics Institute. And then pharma companies, they have a chance to give their views and their thoughts to these experts. It's a very successful, has been running almost from the very beginning of the European Bioinformatics Institute. And again, I encourage you to go to the EBI website, have a look at the program. ELIXIR Spain also has some input from service provision companies like Intel and Atos. And the Swiss Institute of Bioinformatics, our node in Switzerland, also has lots of interaction with companies. Our Dutch node, the DTL, also has kind of a public-private partnership, lots of companies, and ELIXIR Denmark is also running in collaboration with Novo Nordisk. So we have a few interacting and public-private partnerships within ELIXIR, but those are being run by the nodes. So again, I'll be happy if you are interested in knowing what is happening in your country to redirect you, to connect you with the local experts running these industry programs there. So again, please do contact me and we'll take it from there. To finish my presentation, I would just like to have to give a few words about Corval. So Corval is a cluster project which basically is trying to bring together 11 research infrastructures across Europe in biomedicine, from bioinformatics and biodata, ELIXIR, which is us, to clinical trials, to translational medicine, to biobanking, screening, mouse genetics. So we're trying to connect all these research infrastructures, and we have common themes in standards, in training, but we also have a common theme in innovation, where basically all innovation contact person in the different infrastructures, we come together and we have this help desk where we actually help companies to link to different research infrastructures. So if you want to access microscopy, mouse phenotyping data, biodata, and a clinical trial, come and talk to us, because we know each other. We have a pretty close contact, and that's a useful tool when you are doing like kind of sort of cross domain research. Again, I invite you to go and have a look at the Corval website. Just type Corval on Google. And I think this is it. Thanks very much for attending the webinar. And as I said, please, ELIXIR is a community effort. So we want to hear from the community. So use Twitter, LinkedIn, email. So come and talk to us if you have any idea or input. We're always very happy to hear from you. So I think I'm happy to take questions now.